Man, we're ready to rock and roll. Week 12 already. We're just flying by. It feels like literally the other day, it was week 1. And now we blink and we snap our fingers. And here we are, week 12. A lot of good games on this weekend. Do not get it twisted. A lot of people are going to say, we got two top matchups in the SEC coming up, a top matchup in the Big Ten, and a crucial game in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania coming up this weekend. And we're going to talk about it all with our very special guest, George Wrighster from the Unafraid Show. Guys, welcome to Pigskin Frenzy on this beautiful Thursday afternoon, as you can tell by the sun behind me. Thank you for joining us. I'm Joel Norris. Whether you're watching on YouTube, listening on Podbean, Spotify, Apple, a big thank you for taking some time out of your Thursday to just sit back and listen and watch. And listen to some college football coverage presented by us. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like each episode, leave comments down below. Spotify, Podbean, and Apple, all you got to do is just share around with others and follow on there as well. X on Instagram is at pigskin_frenzy, and the website is www.pigskinfrenzy.weebly.com. Ladies and gentlemen, a very special guest. Been hyping him up all week. I have been waiting for this. I love the energy that he brings. I love his show. It gets you the chills and goosebumps, and it gets like, you know how when The Rock slaps his arm when he comes out on wrestling? It kind of gets you the goosebumps, right, when you listen to him. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the host of the Unafraid Show. He's a former Oregon tight end, former NFL tight end. Ladies and gentlemen, George Wrighster III. Golf clap, the infamous golf clap. George, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm great, man. I'm actually I'm starting to get a little bit of sadness right now. Starting to get a little sadness because you just mentioned it's week 12. The season's almost over.
I know.
that means that sad time is coming. It's like this buildup when you get to, as soon as the season is over with, I feel like a depression happened after the national championship. As soon as the game is over with, I'm like, oh, now we got to wait. And then we get a little bit of a fix during spring ball and the transfer portal window, all that stuff. And then summertime comes and you're like, oh my gosh, when is it going to start? And then camps open up, and then you're like, games are coming. only 6 more sleeps until college football starts. And then once it starts, it's not a marathon. Even though it's long and months long, it's really a sprint. It's like a 100-meter dash to the end. And man, but it's like you love it, but it also, if you're a college football fan, you understand what it's like to, like, in 1 second never feel more alive, and then the next second feel like you want to die.
That's literally a good point. I mean, it's like sporting Christmas, too. It's literally like Christmas when Labor Day hits, honestly. It's like,
Yep.
Man, we're unwrapping gifts. Oh, we got, Alabama, Florida State. Oh, we got LSU, Clemson at the time. We have, I don't know, Ohio State, Texas. Just games like that, and you think, man, this is like unwrapping a Christmas present right now for us. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. Man, before we talk about Week 12 of college football, there's a lot of good games on. Talk about what your life is outside of this. Who is George Wrighster outside of the Unafraid Show and outside of media?
I am dad, husband. I got to coach my 6-year-old's basketball team today. We have practice. I smoke a lot of meat. I'm actually going to start putting much more of that content. I got a new backyard situation getting built, so I'm gonna be filming more because I love to smoke meat. I cook a lot. I play pickleball. I do all the things. Hang out with my boys. I love playing poker. And I have 5 kids. We have a blended family from 25 down to 6. Got a son playing college football now, a daughter playing volleyball, and son playing football. It's a fun life. And I say it's fun because it's super busy, but I have an amazing wife. She's amazing, and the kids are great. It's weird because on one hand, it's time consuming, it's stressful, sometimes it feels thankless, but I wouldn't trade it for anything else. Like I feel like I've been blessed beyond what I deserve, probably.
I was told that I needed to play pickleball a few weeks back. I had a special guest picker on it. I think it was Brad Crawford from CBS Sports. It was way back a few weeks ago. I think week 3 maybe. He was real early in the season. He says he plays pickleball, and then I said, "Do I need to play pickleball?" And he was like, "Man, you need to get out more." And I said, "Look, I do get out. I'm not saying that. I don't know. I haven't played pickleball yet. So it's like, do I
Yeah.
need to play?" And he goes, "Man, they need to put this on CBS Sports." And I was like, all
Yes.
right. So I guess without really advertising it, nonchalant, free advertising, I'm advertising, I guess, for Brad Crawford. Hey, put pickleball on CBS Sports. But is it a game that I need to play?
Yes. It's fun. It is something you can play with your grandparents even. It is but and some of these old people are good, man. Like, because it's a quick reaction. It's a fun game. It's tennis, but it's tennis meets ping pong. So it's a
Okay.
smaller tennis court, and it's got some cool rules that make it a lot of fun. You can get as competitive as you want. Like, I play with the kids, so like even my now 14-year-old, he started playing when he was 12, and he was already like a good pickleball player. Would play with the whole family. It's just a lot of fun that can be enjoyed by with grandparents and grandkids at the same time. And there's few things that you can do that are active that are like that. But I would suggest that you stretch and that pickleball is not the only time that you get active, because if you do, you will end up one of these people that ends up hurt because they were being weekend warriors.
One more thing before we move on. What about golf? Do you play any golf? 'Cause I've been told to play golf as well.
Yes, but golf will hit you for, well, golf takes a lot longer to get better at
Yeah.
than pickleball does. Like it can take you months upon months upon months to even be able to play a decent round of golf. And golf takes time. Like, a round of golf is going to cost you at least 4 hours of your day,
Yeah.
maybe six, depending on where you play, how fast the course is playing, and everybody else. Yeah, I don't really have. I do play golf. I played in a golf tournament the other day for like a charity event, and I like those because those are shotguns. They are, everybody's moving at a good pace. You're playing with a team. You're playing a scramble, like, so it keeps everything fun and everything. But as far as just going out and playing 18, I can do it, and I'm okay. Like, I can shoot in the 90s, but it's just not. I just don't have time to do that no more.
Well, I guess I'll just stick to Wii golf or putt-putt golf, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So, um, let's talk about what made you fall in love with college football. I know you played at Oregon. We're going to talk about that a little bit, but what made you fall in love with the sport? Was it like at a young age that you started like, oh, I'm so enamored with college football?
I used to love, like, Peter Warwick was the guy. Well, actually, first Charlie Ward. Charlie Ward was at Florida State, was the guy that I just loved. Oh my gosh, I loved Tommy Frazier over at Nebraska as well. But I didn't really like playing football. So when I got to high school, so I was a kid who got basketball scholarships and football scholarships available to me as well. But I wanted to be a basketball player. And my dad, he used to be like, "George, you need to shoot more, shoot more, shoot more." And I was like, "Dad, I got it. I'm one of the top players in the state, blah, blah, blah." And he was trying to teach me how to do it correctly. And I didn't shoot as much as I needed to be like, I had offers to like Utah State, even Utah, stuff like that. But mind you, it was not a Pac-12 team at the time, or now a Big 12 team. But that's where I was in the hoop realm. But in football, I was everywhere. But I did not like playing football. I didn't. I just played because I was good. And the first time I played once when I was living in Memphis. I played when I was 6. I don't even remember that. Then I played when I was one season when I was like in middle school, maybe 10, somewhere 10 to 12. Played once, hated it. I was on the line. It was awful. And then when I got to high school, the original high school I went to was they didn't even have football. And then my sophomore year, they got 8-man football. And so I went to this school called the Buckley School. So think about this. I was at school with the Jacksons kids, the Kardashians, the all sorts of, Tatiana Ali from the Fresh Prince, Billy Blanks' kids, all this stuff. So this is where I went. So this is 1995. My at that point in time, my parents had one car, a 1980 Volvo. This was a school that was like, $25,000-$30,000 a year at the time. And my parents found scholarships through the Alliance for us to go there, for me and my sisters to go there. So I fit in academically, but socioeconomically, not even in the same, not even in the same ballpark, right? But it was dope because it changed my whole perspective. I got a chance to meet Michael Jackson at TJ's graduation. I got a chance to, be around all these people and see a different vision for my life. So I play 8-man football there. I'm starting as a freshman. I'm the best basketball player maybe that they've ever had. And then after my sophomore year, it was time. It was time to go because I had athletic dreams, and it wasn't like now. Yes, there was club ball, but it wasn't like it is now. And so I transferred. I went to Sylmar High School, and when I went to Sylmar, I decided to play football because I was like, I need something to do till basketball season starts. I go to Sylmar, who was one of the top teams in the state at the time, and turns out I was really good. And so I played. I did really well my junior year, but nobody had ever heard of me because I wasn't on the circuit. I wasn't, none of that. And then after my junior year, I went to a camp. I went to a Nike camp up at Stanford. I won MVP. And then all of a sudden, offers from Rick Neuheisel at Colorado. I'm getting offers from Stanford. I'm getting offers from everywhere. And now I'm like, oh, wow, I'm going to college to go play sports. I mean, I kind of always knew that was a dream and believed it, but it started to become a reality. But I had no clue what I was doing. Like my dad, this dude. So how I kind of my junior year, my dad would call the newspapers because he was an AAU coach. So he would call newspapers pretending to be coaches that I was playing against and was like, yo, have you seen this kid Wrighster over here? Blah, 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 blah. And so I was getting features in newspapers and everything else just coming along. So he kind of like hyper accelerated my recruiting. And if it were in this era now, in this NIL era, it would have been crazy because he would have probably been posting YouTube videos and getting every single, those highlight things to post. But that's what he did. And I ended up getting a scholarship offers, and I wanted to go to, so I was like, I want to go to Florida State. Went out there, it was too far, and the media rights weren't what they are now, where everybody is seen every single place. It was more like regional, so my parents couldn't afford to get all the way out there, so I was like, okay, that dream's dead. And I want to stay somewhere, relatively close. Oregon hadn't changed the uniforms at the time because they actually changed the year I showed up in '99, and and so the coaches, Coach Oz and Coach Campbell, were on me so much. That was the running back coach and the tight end coach on me and they kept showing up at school. They kept giving me information, and one day they got a hold of my parents, and they said, "Yo, did George ever give you the information that we gave him?" Nope. Okay, and so my dad said, either bring this information home or you're going on punishment. Car's going to get parked, everything. Okay, so I bring it home that same day. They had gone in depth. Every single school that I was looking at, how many balls their tight ends caught, they didn't get caught, did they get drafted, this and this and this. And it was looking like Oregon was a better option. But I was like, I'm too good to go to Oregon. And mind you, because Oregon's not Oregon now. Yeah. And so I go up there, uniforms are changing, Mo's opening up, I see all the stuff that's happening, and it just felt like home. And I remember being on the plane on the way back, and I was upset, and my mom was like, "George, what is wrong with you?" It's like, "I think I should go to Oregon." She was like, "I think so too. I'm glad we're on the same page." And people think I was crazy for turning down Stanford, but I wasn't. I didn't really vibe with Tyrone Whittingham, and people were like, "George, how could you do that?" First of all, I was a kid. I didn't grow up like I was born in Memphis. I didn't grow up like in an quote unquote academic household. Even though my mom was a nurse, my dad got his degree after I was like when I was graduating high school. So I didn't fully understand, you know what I mean? Like, and even then, I still think like when I look back on it, I wouldn't make a different decision at all. Like I loved it. It was a great opportunity. It's still giving back now, so I love it.
Hey, hey, go Ducks, right?
Yep.
Go Ducks. I don't even have to ask what was it like playing at Oregon. I mean, I know is it from the passion that you are bringing right now? It seemed like, man, I loved it. I love the O on the helmet, man, and I see it in the background right there.
Dude, it was loud. It was obnoxious. It was passionate. It was because we were just getting good then. And then after the 2000 season, we should have been in the national championship against Miami, but the BCS doesn't like West Coast teams, so we ended up in the Fiesta Bowl because we were number 2 in the AP poll and the coaches poll, and we ended up number 3 in the BCS. And then Miami ends up playing against Nebraska for the national championship. They scorched them, and then we scorched the number 4 team in Colorado, which I know people are probably who are younger was like, "Oh my God, Colorado was good." Yes, they have Heisman Trophy winners and everything else, dude. They were insane. So I end up, So Oregon was it like to see the rise from when before I got there to where it is now, and to see how the fan base reacts as well. Because I actually had to go on and like try to calm the fan base down. Oregon was 7-1. It was doom and gloom, and it hit me. I was like, "Damn, Oregon has reached a place where fans are starting to act like Alabama fans because they sound like Feinbaum callers, like that you win." So when I first got to Oregon, yep, we would beat USC, and then it was like, "Oh my God, we beat USC, yes!" Or every single game, you were just happy to win, and we won a lot, but everybody was happy to win. And then fast forward, Chip Kelly gets the job. Now everybody's expecting to win every game, and then you're blowing people out and all this stuff. You go to the national championship game twice in 2010 and 2015. You're expecting to win. But now Oregon has gotten to a point where their fans are now disgruntled with the way you win. And that sounds like Feinbaum callers. And so you got to kind of keep them in perspective. Like, yo, you know the team's 7-1, right? Relax.
And if the playoffs were today, like back in your time, you would have been in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, literally, you would have been in. So it's like, guys, calm down. But it was the BCS era. So, man, do you miss the BCS era or no?
Absolutely not. I was calling for expanded playoffs for forever. And then you had people who were like, "Oh my God, it's going to ruin the regular season. Nobody's going to watch it." But okay, it's actually had the opposite effect. It's actually made college football that much more interesting. You add in NIL, the transfer portal, and people are like, "It'll just be the same teams in every year." Oh, really? Tell me more. I mean, it's kind of like the NFL playoffs that, like, yes, you will have some teams that are, in on a regular basis, but eventually they will have a little downturn too. Alabama didn't make the college football playoff last year. And truthfully, depending on what happens this weekend, Alabama could be in trouble again.
He's hinting at a preview. See, that's a Pigskin Frenzy game this week, and he is hinting at a preview right now, man. You're getting the goosebumps right now, man. I'm just telling you that right now. Talk about what it's like getting into media. I know.
Yeah.
the football aspect of your life is you're still in football, but it's behind you playing wise, but still getting into media. Talk about what was like getting into that and starting that phase of your career.
I'm actually writing a book about this. It's called Stutterbox. Just spit it out already. Because I was a kid who stuttered really, really badly. And I had 3 dreams. And when I was in 6th grade, teachers ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? I said, I want to do 3 things. I said, I want to be a professional athlete. I want to be in business. And then I want to be in entertainment. But I didn't know what area of entertainment. I just knew that I wanted to do it. And she said, George, you know what the chances of being a professional athlete are? I said, yeah, less than 1 in a million. She said, don't you think you need to try to find something else? Like, nope. And I ended up having a conversation with her later when I got to the league. She was like, George, she was like, just you going to college on scholarship, it hurt me so bad that I said that to you, and it changed my whole teaching life. And she's still a teacher now. And she was like, I was like, why am I putting my limiting beliefs on somebody else who has a dream in their heart and everything else? So, and then business, I've owned different businesses, have some, apartment buildings, have bought and sold some businesses and stuff like that. So that was accomplished. And then I wanted to get in media, but then it was like, well, I wanted to get into entertainment and just kind of figuring out which aspect and all of that. But I still stuttered, and it was and it was something that was a source of tension from the time I was young. And people would, stutter box and spit it out. So it just created this thing, and people don't think you were smart and all that. And that's what kind of the book is about, is that I felt like God put this on my heart to do. And then I was frustrated. I was like, God, I remember praying. I was like, God, if you put this dream on my heart, why would you give me this? Why would I have this that is going to prevent it? And then I ended up meeting with this voice coach at the NFL broadcast boot camp. We worked together for a long time, and I was able to learn new tools and all of this to help things out a lot. And that's what kind of the book is about. It's about that, not just stuttering, but anything else, that if you are following in the path that you're supposed to and what is on your heart and what your gifts are, because the thing that I thought was my biggest detriment, which was my voice, actually turns out people think I have a nice voice. So the thing that I thought was the biggest detriment was actually a blessing to me. So yeah.
Man, that's awesome. And I need to read the book. I need to read the book now. We should be finished with it. Should be finished with it probably late January, hopefully. So I'm excited. So now,
I'm very
excited about it too. And I'm excited for you. That's an awesome, awesome journey. A lot of people write books now, like who are former athletes and getting into media. I read a book, and I had Jay Busby on the show. He wrote a book about the Iron Bowl. So
yeah,
that was really, really cool. I need to read the book now. So now you got me pumped. And sorry, guys, if y'all are watching me, I just brushed something off my nose. I think, it was a ladybug that just hit my nose. So while he was talking, I was brushing that off. I was like, how did that get in here? Anyway.
Quick story for you. So I was calling a game at Texas State, right? Like in the booth, calling the game for TV, and we had the screen open, right? So we're in there, and it's early in the season, so it was like a 4:30, 5 o'clock kick, but there were so many passes in the game. The game was like 4 hours long. So it starts to get dark in the second half. And if you're in the South, particularly in Texas, bugs start flying all over the place. So I am in the booth calling, oh my God, awesome run by the running back. You see the tackle pulling and blah, blah, blah. A big June bug flies and hits me in the eye. You would have thought I got hit by a sniper or something. I fell on the ground in the middle of the game, and my partner's like looking down at me like, yo, are you okay? But yeah, oh my God, I wish we had footage of that one. That one was probably pretty funny.
This is probably one of the best episodes we've done here on Pigskin Frenzy already, by a mile. The energy is just too good. And honestly, guys, I just wish the sun would go down, even though it's, Illinois and it's, it'll get dark here in a little bit. It gets dark early here.
What
Anyway,
city are you in Illinois?
we are in central Illinois, Lincoln, Illinois. So small town based out of in media. So you're thinking like,
How
really,
close
that's
is
an
that to
interesting town.
Champaign?
That is about an hour and a half, Champagne.
Okay, yeah, because I was
I'm
in
close.
I was in Champagne earlier this year interviewing Brett Bielema.
Good old Brett Bielema. Illinois is a really good football team. I don't think they're
Yeah.
like I said. A lot of people are going to think, "Oh, what are you talking about? They're just okay." I mean, hey, man, they're really good this year. I believe. I
thought they were going
admire
to be better.
Illinois.
Oh, I thought they were. I picked them to go to the college football playoff in the preseason because they had so many returning players, but it's rough out here in these streets.
I expected them to, and we're going to talk about Week 12 of college football here in a little bit. I expected them to be where they were, if that makes sense. I
Yeah.
expected them to drop a couple of games. I didn't expect them to be playoff good, but I did expect them to be like, okay, bowl eligible,
Yeah,
3 to 4 loss team
yeah.
type football team this
Which is
year. That's
where
just
they
me.
are.
Which is
Yeah.
where they are. I expected it. But before we get into Week 12 of college football, real quick, you started the Unafraid Show. What's that been like?
And it's been really good. So it started because I was working over at FS1.
Yeah.
And so I was doing a radio show here in LA. Then I started over at FS1. So that was 2014, 15. And mind you, my first radio job was in LA, which never happens. Doing drive time. A lot of fortunate events happened. I ended up getting that job, which was unheard of. Then I end up getting an opportunity to go over to FS1. And this is where the 10,000 hours thing come in life, where you either have to put in 10,000 hours on the front end, like you're doing right now, you got to put it in the middle, or you got to put it in at the end. And so my media career is just going crazy, right? As a non-Hall of Famer, I'm not in the College Football Hall of Fame, I'm in the Oregon's Hall of Fame, but I'm not in, like, not Super Bowl winner, none of that, right? So I don't have I'm not Tom Brady, I'm not, Heisman Trophy winner George Rice. You know what I mean? So, but things are going great. Management changes at FS1. They bring in a new head. It was Jamie Horowitz at the time. Jamie Horowitz. This is when, like, Speak for Yourself starts to start. Colin Coward just comes over. Everything. I'm testing for these shows. I'm supposed to do Speak for Yourself with Jason Whitlock, right? And then Jason actually ends up, he was a little bit difficult to manage, all this stuff. So they end up putting Colin Coward on the show. So now I'm under contract. I can't work anywhere else, but they're also not using me. So, but I could do things in the digital space. So then that's when I'm like, all right, this is where the Unafraid Show started. It was like my own personal growth and development about being unafraid. Like that, I was worried about things people thought about me. People said the stuttering, was that going to come back? All of this. And I was like, dude, I got to live unafraid. I got to live bold. I got to be me. And that was where the name came from, was my own self journey and discovery. And then, yeah, it just stuck. It was a place where I was going to talk about what I wanted to talk about it, how I wanted to talk about it. I was just going to be me. So I was going to be unafraid to be me. But it was born out of the fact that I did not want I didn't want my livelihood to be subjected to somebody else hiring and firing me exclusively.
Yeah, that's good. I love that story. I really do. And you're unafraid. That's good.
Yeah.
So, man, I just wanted to say this, guys. Lord Jesus, please let the sun go down just a tad. Just a tad. It's bothering me.
Going down.
Literally. That's what I wanted to say really quick, because before we get into our college football talk, I'm just thinking, Lord Jesus, and we're having a conversation with the Lord on the show, guys. Just please let the sun go down, just please, just for a little bit. Anyway, y'all can see me. It's just a nag for me. Let's talk about college football in Week 12. Ranking reactions for Week 12. Are there any moves you agreed with or disagreed with?
Wait, about which things?
Well, just in general, like, are there any moves like that you agree with? Like, just for example, like, did you agree with Texas Tech jumping Ole Miss?
Yes. Oh,
Yes.
100%. I was going to throw things at the college football playoff committee if they did not. Because, okay, Texas Tech, I believe, is probably the most underrated team, and they're ranked number 6 right now.
Yeah, number 6. Yeah.
They are underrated. This defense is phenomenal. Cody Campbell's NIL money is being very well spent. And I know that people are like, it's Texas Tech, though. You got to get out of your old college football brain in terms of that. Indiana's good. They're winning, but they're not like elite. Slow down before you get your head knocked in. And Texas Tech is the same way. They have spent this NIL money on the defensive line, on the offensive line, on the linebackers. And they're probably going to have the number 1 recruiting class in 2027. They're going to be a top class in 2026. They are getting 5 stars. This team is not the future is extremely bright for Texas Tech. This is not your run of the mill, like their roster is not a bunch of, guys who are quote unquote overplaying where they were ranked like Indiana just because they're well coached and all. No, this is a combination of well coached and super talented players. So when they played, because the committee said that BYU was the number 7 team in the country, and they said that Texas Tech was the number 8 team in the country. So if we change those names and we put Alabama at number 8, and we put Ole Miss at 7, and then we put Texas Tech at 6, and Texas Tech played the Citadel, and then Alabama and and Texas or Alabama and Ole Miss played. What would happen in the rankings?
Right.
Exactly what happened in the rankings. They would jump the team that played the Citadel. So that's where we are. That should have happened. And I can even make a case for Texas Tech being in the 4 or 5 spot. Their only loss this season was against Arizona State, where Texas Tech did not have their starting quarterback, Barron Morris. That's the only game that they've lost. And they have been absolutely dominating everybody else.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Now it's going to give me a follow-up question to that one, because I saw BYU at 12. And, I mean, I get it. They should be. It was a lopsided game, right?
Yep.
Do you think BYU rematches Texas Tech in the Big 12 title game?
So BYU still has – okay, so the back half of their schedule was always going to be the question this year. They still have TCU, Cincinnati, and UCF. The UCF game they should win handily. But this week against TCU, this is actually going to be a tougher game than people think. Josh Hoover throws the ball around. Sonny Dykes' offense is hard to stop. And it's not like BYU's defense is good. And that's going to be the question: is can they keep Texas? If they can keep TCU from scoring a lot of points, because if they can't, TCU is going to win. If TCU gets 40 points or more, they're going to win this football game.
Very interesting. And that could be an upset alert game too. We're talking about our upset alerts before previewing predictions. But real quick, and we'll move on. Who in your mind, because there's a lot of debate on it, who in your mind is the number 1 team in the country right now, in your eyes?
Ohio State.
Yeah.
They haven't run into every team at some point in time has to run into trouble. You know what I mean? Yeah. They have not run into trouble yet. It might be the Michigan game. It might be the playoff, but they have not run into trouble yet, which is and people will say, oh, well, because the Big Ten's not that tough. No, the Big Ten is actually very tough. The issue is that they're so freaking good. This defense is phenomenal. They are allowing 6 points a game. They are stoning people People get touchdowns on accident sometimes. Like in the Wisconsin Oregon game. Wisconsin got an accidental touchdown in the fourth quarter. It was a chuck and duck that was amongst three players, and the ball was so underthrown that the Oregon players like bumped into each other, and then he miraculously caught it on like the 5-yard line. Oh, like a 43-yard pass, and they still were under 100 yards passing. Like that's how, like so you can back it's like the Ohio State Penn State game. Ohio State fumbles and they get a touch and they get, that's how they end up with 14 points. So yeah. So you can accidentally get get a touchdown, and this team has been stoning people. Their wide receivers are really good. The only question is, what happens when you stop the run game a little bit? Julian Saint's getting credit, and now that I'm a Heisman voter, I'm really paying attention to this Heisman situation. And right now, I love what Julian Saint's doing, but I'm on the fence about him as a Heisman winner because of the embarrassment of riches around him compared to like a Haynes King, who is literally carrying the team on his back.
Yeah, absolutely. Georgia Tech's is a good football team, I believe. I know they lost to NC State on ranked game, but I don't think anybody's. I mean, besides maybe Ohio State, maybe I don't see anybody going undefeated, really. So, I mean, I understand that why they would lose to NC State. Everybody's going to have one of those games, I believe. So I'm glad that you mentioned Georgia Tech. The reason why I mentioned that question and I asked you that question is because there's a lot of debate between, okay, should A&M be number one? So that's what I was honestly going to ask you. Like, who's the number one team in the country? A lot of people are talking about Texas A&M because of their metrics and everything. So I'm glad.
What metrics are they talking about? That's the thing that was frustrating me. I was like, what metrics are you talking about, Joey? Please tell me what metrics, because the metric that everybody wanted me to point to at first was the FPI. The FPI says that Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon are the three best teams, according to FPI. When you go to like the Sagarin rankings, doesn't say that either. You can go to pretty much every single ranking. None of them have Texas ratings. Excuse me, not even rankings, but the ratings. Almost none of them have Texas A&M one. So I'm like, what metrics are you talking about? And then he's like, oh, Texas A&M has the best win because they beat Notre Dame. So you mean that that's better than Indiana going to Oregon and beating Oregon? And you're going to tell me that that's better than Alabama beating Georgia, and you're going to tell me that that's better than Ohio State beating Texas? Like, they're just out here just saying things right now.
George Wrighster, everybody. Listen,
find me a rating. That's what I want everybody to do. Tag me in it on Twitter. Find me some ratings that have Texas A&M as the best team in the country, please.
We're going to get George Wrighster back on this show, guys. I'm loving this right now. I'm loving the energy and the passion he's bringing about this. Ohio State, number one team in the country in a lot of people's eyes, and including Georgia's eyes. I mean, they're the number one team in my eyes, I believe. They're in my Frenzy playoff rankings. I have Ohio State number one. So, absolutely. Week 10 up. Why I say week 10? Week 12 upset alerts, rather. I was thinking about week 10. Why did I think about week 10 for some reason? Week 12 upset alerts. Man, a lot of interesting games. So, I mean, a lot of interesting games. You mentioned BYU and TCU could be one. I believe that could be one as well. Who's on upset alert in your mind?
Okay, so upset alert for me this week is I put on upset alert. Let me pull up my little handy dandy list. I have Duke and Virginia. I have Virginia on upset alert versus Duke.
Yeah,
because Morris may not be playing, even if Morris was playing. I want people. Okay, so Duke has a better chance of getting to the college football playoff than Miami does, and they're sitting at 5-4, which is crazy. But their quarterback, Darian Mensah, this kid who people believe got $4 million to leave Tulane to go to Duke. First of all, that was money well spent because he's thrown for almost 3,000 yards, 20-some touchdowns, only 2 picks. He's been electric. And I can't even imagine how much it's going to cost for Duke to keep him next year because if you are a national championship caliber team and you don't have a quarterback, how much would you be willing to pay for this kid? Right. And he's making $4 million already, so you can't even start there.
Man, so you're right on that one. That's a good one.
So I got them on upset alert. I got Utah on upset alert against Baylor. I have Alabama is on upset alert versus Oklahoma. Ooh. I said before the season that Alabama was not going to go to the college football playoff, and I'm standing on business with that one. People are going to be shocked when this happens. It has all the hallmarks of an upset. You have Alabama has had trouble doing what this year? Running the football.
Football, yeah.
Brent Venables. So, I mean, granted, Oklahoma has trouble running the football too, but let's just talk about Oklahoma's defense, which is one of the better ones in the nation. If Brent Venables knows that you are one-dimensional already before the game even starts against bad competition, Alabama's having against bad defenses. They're having trouble running the football. So against a really good defense, they may be able to stop the ball with a light box. And sometimes the Alabama passing attack goes invisible too and get some pressure on Ty Simpson. This has all the hallmarks of a low-scoring game where Oklahoma just pulls it out and finds a way to win.
I love it. I love that. I think for me, USF and Navy, I think that's an upset alert game for me. I think USF should be careful in that game. I believe because Navy is coming off of a loss. They're probably going to be a little bit more motivated. It's at home for Navy. I think UCF could win the game and find a way to win, but that's going to be an upset alert game for me. I would be careful if I'm South Florida.
I'm not mad at that.
Arizona, Cincinnati, an interesting game there. I think Cincinnati should win, but Arizona could probably pull something out of the woods. So I would be careful on that one as well. Nothing surprises me with LSU and Arkansas. And a lot of people are going to be like, are you serious right now? Yeah, I know it's at home for LSU. I know Arkansas's defense is not really all the best. I just think that Arkansas could give them a game.
What does it matter if Arkansas's defense is good? LSU's offense has been awful against everybody.
Yeah.
They got a crisis going on at quarterback. How the hell did a 4,000-yard passer go to getting benched?
Yeah.
Brian Kelly should have got fired for that alone. Like, how did that happen? How did your offense go from just in the tank that bad? It is something's wrong. And I don't know exactly what I know the offensive line isn't as good as it was last year, but this kid might have been a first-round pick, and now there is no chance he's a first-round pick. And then they put in Michael Van Buren last game, who transferred from Mississippi State. So who even starts?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Van Buren could burn his red shirt.
Yeah, so I can't even put him on. Well, actually, no. Wait, how many games has he played in already?
I think he's played in 2 or 3, if I'm not mistaken. 2, maybe 3.
Oh, that would be a tough way to go to burn your red shirt there because you get 4 games that you can play. That would be a terrible way, but he don't have no choice. He's like, I'm not sitting on the bench. If you ask me the option of sitting on the bench or playing, yeah, I'll be playing. So Van Buren, I just pulled up his game log. Yeah, that was his 3rd game last week.
Yeah. He's played against Southeastern Louisiana. He played against A&M, and now he's played against Alabama. So Saturday would be 4 because I think he is going to play Saturday.
Okay.
It's interesting, dude. It's interesting what's going on with LSU. I hear a lot, and it's different. Yeah. It's just the vibe is all different. One last one before we do a preview and predictions. I think Mississippi State and Missouri is an upset alert game as well. I think Mississippi State did get a little bit embarrassed last week. I think that game could go either way. I know their running game is legit at Mizzou. I just think that Mississippi State could find a way, especially in terms of throwing the ball.
I'm gonna agree with you right there.
Yeah,
I do.
I think
I'm gonna be honest. I did not spend a lot of time thinking about that game because I don't spend a lot of time thinking about Missouri because they've been ranked for a while and I couldn't understand why. Like when you turn on the film or when you look at the results, I'm like, why are they ranked? So I knew that they would fall out of the rankings. So I was like, we're just not even gonna even pay attention there. But I do want you guys to keep eyes on the on the Michigan Northwestern game. I originally thought that one could be an upset alert, but especially if it were at Northwestern, because it's a 12,000 seat stadium, it's right on the lake, it's going to be super windy, all of that. But then I was like, oh my God, I forgot they're playing in Wrigley Field. So then Michigan is going to have more juice in the game, so they should win.
Absolutely. Man, it's going to be a very interesting Saturday with these games, upset alerts all over the place, I believe. So we're going to see
USC's on upset alert, by the way, too. I mean, but they're ranked pretty close to each other, but people think that USC is going to be better, but the weather is going to be awful this weekend. Awful. And those USC fans, because I'm a message board troll. I go on people's boards, but because I think that it helps with my content because I know what the fans are thinking. So they had a thread about the Iowa-Oregon game, and most of their probably 60-70% of the comments were, we'll beat both of these teams and blah, blah, blah. Oregon barely won. And they're like, they're going to blame the weather. Okay, well, show us how it's done then, USC. Show us how it's done.
And it's a good segue to talk about that because now we're doing our preview predictions. The top matchups for Week 12 for Pigskin Frenzy, and Iowa at USC is one of them, ladies and gentlemen. Iowa is a 6.5-point underdog going into the Coliseum. You mentioned that weather is supposed to be a huge factor probably in this game. It's going to be nasty a little bit in LA. So we're going to see what happens. But what's your analysis on this game? Who do you got? And do you think the spread is a little bit too high?
Yes, I do think the spread is too high considering what the weather is going to be. Especially that. So I'm taking Iowa plus 6.5. But I did pick USC to win. Like I would pick USC on the money line, but it's gonna all depend on like how USC handles this weather. We haven't gotten a lot of rain in Southern California lately, so how are they gonna handle ball handle, everything else because it changes a little bit. Yes, wind is the biggest factor in terms of impacting how games are played and and the passing game and all of that stuff. So how will USC's ball security be? Will they catch the ball well? Like how bad will it be because it's thunderstorms expected? How bad will the rain be? USC plays on a grass field. So, and it's going to be raining not just that day, but the 2 days prior as well. So the field's going to be wet and it's going to be soft. So it's just, and USC is going to have to man up versus this Iowa run game because they're not changing who they are. They will play in a phone booth. So are you going to be able to do everything that Lincoln Riley's offense, the air raid, wants to do? Because they do a lot of pullers. They pull somebody on damn near every single run play. So now you're dealing with slippage. You're dealing with all sorts of stuff that on a softer field. So I do wonder if they're going to be able to maintain that level of, like consistency running the football and have the success that they've had because a lot of it is based upon smoke and mirrors. Their run game is based upon the fact that there's a threat to the pass. But if you can't pass the ball at a high level, now all of a sudden you just standing there manning up and running it, and their runs are so like tricky, like they pull. Like, you won't see teams pull the guard, the backside guard, and the tackle, and have them block back on the defensive end with the center. But it's all based upon the quarterback potentially keeping it and stuff like that. And I believe Iowa's defensive coordinators are good enough to be able to come up with a plan to make it very tough on USC.
Man, I shouldn't even do my analysis in keys anymore. That was just too good. I can't do it anymore. I quit. I think the weather's going to be a factor, like you said. So the main key for me was to figure out a way to slow their offense down, and then I checked the weather, and I was like, okay, the weather may help with that for Iowa. So. Yeah. I agree with that as well. I think protecting the football would be key. Two turnovers versus the Ducks last week, which, by the way, I did see your video. Shout out to Kirk Herbstreit for that one. I saw your video on X about that one. That was hilarious. And I was like, yeah, I picked Oregon to win that game too. I thought it was going to be close. But and then with the time of possession battle, if you're Iowa, 33 minutes, 20 seconds versus Iowa, and keep that offense off the field. For USC, start off fast. It's going to be kind of hard, like you said, because of the weather once again. But Iowa's fourth in defense in the sport, and that's going to be tough to start off fast against this defense. And like you said, they have the defensive staff to combat what USC is doing. Force turnovers and figure out a way to contain Mark Gronowski. I think Gronowski can make some big plays, and he's known to make big plays, especially in big-time games like last week, even though I know Oregon ended up winning the game. But he is known to make big-time plays. Who do I got winning this ball game? I got USC winning. I'm with you. I think I was going to cover. I think it's going to be a 3-point game. It's going to be a little bit low scoring, mid-20s, I would think. Give me USC 27, Iowa 24, I think. Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those type games coming up this weekend with USC. I think USC wins, but 3-point game, late field goal.
That gives USC 3 touchdowns and 2 field goals. Ooh, that's a lot of scoring possessions against Iowa, bro. They find a way to, bro. They will drag you down and just give you a mud hug.
Oh, absolutely, and I agree. And look, I just think USC is going to find a way to get some possessions, get some scores. And I think that I was going to combat that a little bit, just a tiny bit, but it's not going to matter. I think the weather is going to be a factor a little bit. I think that USC is going to end up winning the game close, and they move on to that showdown. Potential spoiler for a Pigskin game with Oregon next week. So that's going to be a very interesting game there. Notre Dame at Pitt. A lot of people are talking about this game.
Yes.
If we could listen to Pat Narduzzi again, which I don't want to listen to that press conference ever again. God. That was rough. Notre Dame's an 11.5-point favorite in this ball game. Do you think the spread's too high? What's your analysis, and who do you have?
This Pitt team is good, and this defense is good. Notre Dame has had some games where they've had trouble getting the best running back in the country, Jeremiah Love, going. And in those games, they have struggled. And so the answer is Pitt, sell out to the run. I believe Notre Dame is going to win this football game, but I also believe that what's that kid's name? Heinzel is
Mason Heinzel.
Is Pitt's new quarterback, because they started out the season with Eli Holstein, who had transferred from Alabama last year, who ended up starting. So they ended up doing the same thing they did last year at quarterback, but this year Heinzel ended up taking the job from Eli Holstein. And I believe that they have a chance, but Pat Narduzzi saying that, it made me want them to lose. Like, I don't care about this game. I just care about getting the ACC championship. What? He was like, they can win by 100 points. And, man. So basically, what you're saying is that we don't even care if we can compete. We just want to get there and show up. I was disgusted. Honestly, I was highly disappointed in a very good coach.
Absolutely. And while you can get to the playoff as an ACC champion, high example, Clemson last year, they were a 3-loss team last year, ACC champion. Pitt could do that. You don't do that when you got a game in front of you. You're supposed to say,
correct.
I want to go out there and lay the smack down and
Yep.
run through somebody this weekend. It's Notre Dame. I want to go out there and prove that we are one of the best teams in college football. You don't say what you said. So I am 100% in agreement with you,
Yeah,
especially with Pat
I
Narduzzi.
hope they lose. I hope I don't just generally root against people, but that goes against the fabric of everything that I love.
Yeah. The player in you right now is like, come on, man. Like, stop, just stop. You know?
What are we
So
doing?
now I'm in agreement. Notre Dame, they have to contain Pitt's passing offense. Mason Heinzel has been the truth this year for this team. They're 10th in passing in college football. They know how to create plays through the air. Win on third down, 7 for 10 on third down versus Navy. I get it. It's Navy. Navy's defense hadn't been the best, but I think if they can do that against Pitt, they can win on Saturday, establish the run game as well. They're 26 in rushing in college football. Get Jeremiah Love going in this game, and I think they have a strong shot at winning this ball game. Pitt's keys for me are simple. Slow down their running game. They are third in rushing defense in college football, so that's where the test for me comes in.
Yeah.
If they can get Jeremiah Love going, they can probably win. But what's going to happen if Pitt's rushing defense slows the running game down? Can C.J. Carr make enough plays to win Notre Dame this ball game?
Good question. Exactly.
This is why my college football nerdiness is starting to come out, George, because I'm like,
Yes.
can the true freshman in C.J. Carr, because I know Mason Heinzel's a true freshman, and they're like, okay, the defense can Notre Dame could probably force Mason Heinzel to make some mistakes, but can
Yes.
C.J. Carr make some plays? Now, that's the real question.
I'm super excited about CJ Carr in terms of his future, but the future is not right now.
Yeah. And you're right. You're 100% right. Establish the running game for Pitt. Notre Dame's tied for 15th in rushing defense. But here's the problem with that, George. They're 104th in running the football. As I know they love to pass the ball a lot, but they still had to get some balance a little bit going on that offense.
Yes.
And then minimize the penalties. 10 penalties for 93 yards versus Stanford. Here's an interesting stat. In fewest penalties in the sport, they are 118th.
Yes,
That is
that's the other. Oh man, I'm glad you brought that up. You cannot give Notre Dame free first downs, and this is one of the most penalized teams in college football. That is not a recipe for winning.
Absolutely. Who do I have winning this ball game? I'm going to go with Notre Dame. I cannot go with Pitt right now, only because of the penalties. I know Mason Heinzel's playing good. I just think Notre Dame's going to find a way to win this game. I think they do cover.
Agree.
I think they cover. I think it's going to be 31-21 game. Notre Dame finds a way to win.
And this is a playoff. Every
slightly
game's a
uncovered.
playoff game for Notre Dame right now, too.
Yes, it's do or die. So,
Yep.
yeah, I'm in agreement. I think Notre Dame wins. Can I be real with you, George?
Yeah, of course.
I think this is it. I think Notre Dame wins, and they are in. Because I don't think they're going to lose the rest of their games.
No, yeah. This is it. And people poo-pooing their schedule is weird to me. It's like it's easy to talk trash about Notre Dame, and they're like, oh, they don't play anybody. Like, what are you talking about? Where does Notre Dame has played Miami, ranked number 15 currently. Texas A&M, ranked number 3 currently. They've played a tough SEC team in Arkansas, even though that they're bad. They played a team that is on the verge of potentially going to the college football playoff as a group of 5 in Boise State. They played an ACC team. Oh, they played a top, what is USC right now? 16 or 17? They played another ranked team in USC, beat them up. They played Boston College. They played Navy, and now they're playing another ranked team. And we're going to sit here and act like that's not a good schedule? They don't play group of 5 teams. They don't have Citadel on their schedule. They don't have Northeastern Louisiana on their schedule. So all of these SEC people or Big Ten people or you got who was that just said something about Joey McGuire talking about Notre Dame and their schedule? Sitting there like, bro, like get a grip. You would be crying real tears if you had to play 10 Power 4 games. No, sorry, 11 Power 4 games plus Boise State.
Absolutely. See, George Wrighster again, another golf collab. Notre Dame wins the game, I believe, and you're 100% right. I think Notre Dame wins. They slightly uncover. I would say 10-point favorite. I mean, they're 11.5-point favorites right now, so they slightly uncover by one, maybe. And Pitt covers by 1 point, but I think they'll run away with it in the end. Two more games and we'll wrap up. And this is your game. This is your game, George. Oklahoma at Alabama in Bryant-Denny. 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central kick. Going to be an interesting game. Bama's a 5.5-point favorite in this ball game. What's your analysis, and who do you have?
Down goes Bama.
Oh, upset alert.
Down goes Bama in Bryant-Denny. They are going to be ready to hope that they win the lottery so they can pay out Kalen DeBoer's buyout again. They're going to start that talk again. And it's not because I believe the dude's a really good football coach.
Yeah.
They cannot run the football. And you're playing against Oklahoma. Every single thing is like playing into an upset right here. Everybody believes that Alabama's a shoe-in for the college football playoff. They can't be beat. You can't pay attention to Oklahoma. John Mateer hasn't been playing his best football. He's got 7 interceptions, only 8 touchdowns, but he's got 2,000 yards. He's not running the ball at the same level ever since his hand was hurt. And dude, slow all the way down. This is going to be a rock fight game. Oklahoma in the run game is not outstanding either. They've only rushed for 1,200 yards on the entire season, which is not very much because the elite offenses are pretty close to each other on run and pass. And it is, like 1,200 to over 2,000. So that's not ideal. Then when you go to Alabama, they're in a situation. Quarterbacks thrown for 26-21. They've rushed for barely 1,000 yards this season, 1,007. Everybody's yards added up. Jam Miller is the leading rusher with 321, and then Riley with 186. This is not a team that is able to run the football. And if you can't run the football against Oklahoma, you are going to have problems because they are going to be exclusively focused on Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard, and putting pressure on Ty Simpson, messing with the looks. This is where Kalen DeBoer is going to have to get creative in terms of play calling, scheme, window dressing, everything else, because if he gets an opportunity, which he will, at a big play or two throughout the game, you have to hit them, because if you do not, you will lose this football game.
So Oklahoma wins.
Yes.
I love and the thing is, you're bold about it. I love it. I love the boldness. I think they will have to establish the run game, I believe. I mean, Oklahoma's 11th in rushing offense in the SEC, 92nd in college football. They're not the best. Bama's rushing defense ain't all that great either. And I think if they do find some sort of running game, Alabama could be in trouble. And I agree with you on that.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. If Oklahoma finds any sort of running game, because they have a couple times this season, but I would challenge anybody to find me a time where Alabama had a good running game this year. Right.
And you're 100% right. I think minimizing the penalties for OU will be good. 11 penalties for 104 yards versus Tennessee. That's not – I mean, they still won because of those turnovers that Tennessee committed in that ball game. Bama doesn't turn the ball over as much, and I think that's what concerns me. You can't give Alabama free first downs. Win the line of scrimmage battle as well. You have to win in the trenches against this team, I believe, in order to pull off an upset.
Alabama loses the South Carolina game if Sellers doesn't throw the pick six in the first quarter and then fumble in the fourth quarter.
Right.
That was a terrible throw. He shouldn't have made it, and the dude should have caught it. Like, it was a bad decision because there was, you're throwing a swing route into impending danger, and then you fumble at the end of the game. Like, those two things, in South Carolina wins.
You're right. And you're 100% right. I mean, these Sellers, that whole situation in South Carolina is different. Alabama did give South Carolina that ball game. I'm just gonna.
Yes.
They really did, and they can do it
And
Saturday.
Oklahoma and South Carolina are the exact same team except better on offense.
Yeah, I understand. Now you're teaching me a little bit. You're starting to teach me a lot more now, like live on this show. Now I'm starting to get worried about who I should pick. But Alabama's forcing turnovers, man. They have to force the turnovers. 2 turnovers versus Tennessee. They snagged 2 turnovers versus LSU, even though LSU's kind of okay, not good on offense. Win the line of scrimmage battle and create explosive plays, I believe. They can create explosive plays against a very tough, if I might add you, Oklahoma defense. They should be able to win the game. Who do I have winning this ball game? Well, you're probably going to be shocked when I say this. I think Alabama's going to find a way to win the ball game. I think they pull away late. I think it's going to be a 31-21 ball game. I think Bama wins by 2.
That is not outside of the realm of possibility. I just think it'll be the other way, but you might turn out to be right on this one.
Yeah, I mean, Bama's going to win, I think, 31-21. I think it'll be close heading into the 4th, but I think Bama pulls away and runs away with it. I think a lot of people are underestimating Oklahoma in this game. I'm not. I think Oklahoma's going to go in there and fight them. I just think late in the game, Bama will start to pull away, and that's where the score comes in for me with 31-21. I think Bama pulls away late. So give me Alabama 31, Oklahoma 21. The schedule's not over, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, for Bama.
Yep.
So it's not over. They could still possibly lose, into a game called the Iron Bowl. So we'll have to see what's going on there. But we'll see. We will see. So George may be onto something, guys. Last but not least, before we wrap up and include Pigskin Frenzy, Texas at Georgia. 7-2 Texas, 8-1 Georgia. Night game in Athens. Going to be very hostile crowd in Sanford Stadium. What's your analysis on this game? I think Georgia's a 6.5-point favorite in this ball game. What's your analysis? You think the spread's too high, and who do you have?
If I say these 3 words, tell me if you know what they mean. BTA.
Oh, no. Yeah, I think I have a feeling. I know where I'm not going to say it on the air, but I do know what you
Belt
mean.
to you know what. That's what it is going to be. Georgia is going to go tell Texas to go pick their switch.
Oh, no.
and bring it back. It is going to get ugly. For Arch, it is going to get, because everybody's been looking at them. Oh, my gosh, look at what Texas is doing. Tough win at Mississippi State and Kentucky. Those are bad football teams.
Right.
And they struggled. Georgia, on the other hand, is starting to figure out how to run the football because they were having trouble in the beginning of the season. Gunnar Stockton has shown, I'm the man. Kirby Smart knows how to make his teams peak. They are peaking right now. This Texas defense is not impressive this year. This is not Texas defense last year. This is not Texas offensive line from last year. They have, gone on a little streak, and, if their name was Washington, they'd be ranked 25th right now or 23rd instead of 10th. They will be put in their place in this football game. Texas is probably a year away from being good again. Well, excuse me. They're still a good football team. Like, let's not act like this is not a good football team. They are a good football team. They're not an elite football team this year. Last year, they were an elite football team. This year, they are not. They're still a good football team. They're just not elite. And I believe that Arch is going to struggle in the pass game versus Georgia, just like we saw Trinidad Chambliss do. He had some success early and then kind of faded late. Georgia's defense has started slow a bunch of times this season. Even in the Mississippi State game last week, Mississippi State came out first drive and scored. And then they shut them down after that. And I believe that this Texas team is going to have trouble. I always think about games in terms of ways that a team can win. And outside of Texas getting multiple turnovers and running them into the end zone, I can't figure out ways that Texas can win this football game.
Yeah. Oh, man. Another golf clap analysis right there. See, I have to pick up my game every time George speaks. I was like, all right, I gotta go and be a good partner for him, man. You got to win the line of scrimmage battle if you're Texas. I think you got to try to out physical Georgia, and Georgia is a very physical football team. Force turnovers, which is going to be difficult, and then you got to win on third down. Keep Georgia's offense off the field. Georgia's keys for me: establish the running game. Going to be tricky because Texas is second in rushing defense in the sport, first in the conference, and if you're Georgia, you're 24th in rushing offense in college football and fourth in the SEC. I think they can probably find a way to run the ball. This year at least. I don't know. I just have that feeling. I know a lot of people. To me, it's like, okay, that second in rushing defense, yes, good stat. Now let's go see if you can prove that on the field. And I'm really about that with Texas.
Yeah. It's kind of like when Oregon played Iowa last week. Mm-hmm. Iowa was only giving up 83 or 86 yards per game rushing. Oregon rushed for 260 at almost 8 yards a carry.
Yeah.
I think that's the kind of thing we're looking at here. Because of Georgia's ability to pass the football.
Oh, 100%. Win the line of scrimmage battle for Georgia. And here's one good key: protect Gunnar Stockton. Texas is tied for first in sacks in the conference. And I believe if Colin
Simmons and company are for real.
Oh, absolutely.
They will hunt the quarterback.
If Colin Simmons and co get to Gunnar Stockton, it could be a different dynamic.
Yes.
Well, who do I have winning this ball game? Well, in a way, I'm kind of with you, George. I think Georgia's going to find a way to win the ball game. I think Georgia covers and then some. I think it's going to be 35-21. 35 Georgia, Texas 21. And the reason why I say this, and here's a good thing to say: Georgia has a kryptonite and it's Alabama. Texas has a kryptonite and it's Georgia.
Against Georgia. Yep.
And it's against Georgia. Yep. And I've thought about that every time. So give me Georgia 35-21.
Yeah, this will be a nice little whooping.
Yeah, I think Georgia's going to make a statement Saturday. And now, if Sark hears this, go out and prove me wrong. And maybe eat my words. Because I love being proven wrong. I love to get it wrong. Because it's like, okay, you shut me up. That's fine. I just think Georgia's going to be ready, prepared. They get the win 35-21. George, it has been fun having you on. Any final thoughts before we head into Week 12?
No, man, I enjoyed coming on with you, man, and seeing your audience. Oh, just so your audience knows, too, I'll be on CW because I do studio pregame, postgame, and halftime for CW. This week we have last week we had North Carolina, Stanford. This week we have North Carolina, Wake Forest, and then the Washington State game after that as well.
And that should be a very fun, interesting ball game with Wake Forest. They're a good team. They are a very good team this year, I believe. They surprised me this year, I believe. So.
Hey, keep your eye on Jake Dick. Oh, okay. Keep your eye on Jake Dickert for some of these head coach openings. Mm-hmm. Keep your eye on potentially PJ Fleck for some of these job openings, because there are some names that are flying under the radar for some very good coaches, and you're like, I wonder why. And because I don't believe Jeff Brom is going to leave Louisville, Clark Lee, they've been talking about him leaving Vanderbilt, Brent Key leaving Georgia Tech, and you're just like, explain to me when coaches who are at their alma maters having success, they're getting resourced and they're getting pay bumps, would leave.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, one quick question now, because now you got me a follow-up question before we officially wrap up. The big three jobs: Penn State, Florida, LSU. Who do you think lands where out of those three jobs?
I think Brian Hartline at Penn State. If LSU is smart, they will go get John Summerall. He's right down the street. He might not even have to move very far. LSU and Baton Rouge aren't exactly, but I would go. I'm sorry, LSU's in Baton Rouge, but New Orleans, where Tulane is versus
Yeah.
Baton Rouge, he would have to move. But you get the point.
Yeah.
And then for Florida, I don't think Lane Kiffin's leaving.
Yeah.
I believe that they're going to end up either hiring a coach that they have no business hiring, or they're going to do a smart thing and get a group of 5 coach. Because everybody keeps talking about, still this guy's head coach, still this guy's head coach. I want you guys to find me a time where stealing a head coach, a power 4 head coach, taking him and putting him somewhere else where that worked. Outside of Nick Saban leaving Michigan State and going down to LSU, where he won a national championship. And then you got Gene Chizik leaving Iowa State and going to Auburn and winning a national championship. I've struggled to find other times where expectations have been lived up to, because Washington fans can't say that the DeBoer hire has lived up to expectations yet, even though it's only in year 2. Lincoln Riley and USC, Brian Kelly and LSU. There's Mississippi State and Florida with Dan Mullen. Like, there's so many examples of where it hasn't worked.
Yeah.
So go get you a group of 5 coach, because everybody's like, let's go get Marcus Freeman. Let's get Dan Lanning. What were Marcus Freeman, hell, even Kirby Smart too. What was Kirby Smart, Dan Lanning, Lincoln Riley all doing before they got their first head coaching job? Assistant coaches.
Absolutely. There's one name you need to keep an eye on, I think, in the group of 5 that's emerging more. That's Bob Chesney from James Madison.
Yes.
He's a really good football coach. So
He
I
is.
would keep an eye on him.
Ryan Silverfield at Memphis is another name. You got Eck over at New Mexico. Yeah, there's a lot of guys at the group of 5 level that can definitely, make an impact.
Absolutely. George Wrighster, ladies and gentlemen, he is the host of the Unafraid Show. Another golf clap, round of applause for him being on. He has been an awesome guest picker and an awesome guest for us. Guys, we're out of time. A big thank you for tuning in and listening to some college football coverage presented by us. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like each episode, leave comments down below. Spotify, Podbean, and Apple, all you got to do is just share around with others and follow on there as well. X and Instagram is at Pigskin_Frenzy. And you know what to do. Go to the website, www.pigskinfrenzy.weebly.com. We're so thankful for everybody tuning in each and every Tuesday and Thursday, listening to the show. We couldn't do this without you guys, and we could not do this show without our Lord and Savior, Jesus. We give him all the praise for being in sports media, because without him, we wouldn't be doing this. So we are going to continue to spread his name and glorify him on this show at all times. So we give him all the praise. Guys, have a great weekend. Look, it's going to be a fantastic games, right? Some fantastic games on. We'll come back on Tuesday and recap week 12 and get our frenzy rankings ready for week 13. So it's going to be a lot of fun on Tuesday. That is George Wrighster, the host of the Unafraid Show. I'm Joel Norris. We're signing off. Have a great weekend. For everybody out there, please and always stay the course.